Welcome back. It's the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM, and it's time to look at Riverland Footy, which gets underway this weekend. Exciting times in the Riverland, and Ben Venning is joining me to have a look forward to the first round of action. G'day, Ben. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Going very well, thank you. Glad it's almost the weekend, that is for sure, and I'm sure you are too. You're all ready for footy season?
Yeah, look, it's been a long 6 months since we had our last grand final back at Waikerie, and looking forward to getting back into it. There's been a few ins and outs over the pre-season and off-season, as I guess it happens in every league. But looking forward to a cracking year this year.
And a big pre-season for you, I trust, as most country footballers do have.
Oh, no, I'm sort of back in the B grade now, mate. So I might have only been to a couple of trainings, just looking after the body. But look, the boys that are playing A grade have obviously been at it for a long time, and looking fit and raring to go.
Yeah, not too much pre-season necessary for the B graders, I would have thought. But a couple of sessions, you'll be fine. So you mentioned a bit of player movement as we get into the 2024 season. What are some of the significant ins and outs around the league?
Yeah, look, I guess I'll start with Waikerie quickly. Obviously, close to home for me. So, unfortunately, we lost a couple of the boys from last year. Eddie Betts' lads and Tyrell Hocking and Kieran Dixon have moved on. Tyrell did his knee in the last game and now prelim final. So that's no good for him, but they've moved on as well. Ethan Neal, we lose Landers as well. Noah High's gone to Adelaide and Jacob Cooch. So few outs there, but we've been lucky enough to pick up a few. Big Mark Rasciuto's nephew, Ruben Rasciuto, looking forward to seeing him play his first game this weekend. A couple of guys from up in Darwin are coming back down here, and Tommy Sheldon and Zach Steele, so looking forward to seeing them play. Jake Grubb as well. Jackson Pillion returns to the club after a year off. He's a Waikerie boy. And Byron Sumner, brother of Tim Sumner, who actually was on the list for Gold Coast, I believe, and played a bit of league footy at Sturt. He's signed with us as well, so that's a huge in for us, and that only happened really late. So very happy with that and looking forward to seeing him play. So, so we're not looking too bad this year. Berry, obviously been struggling the last couple of years, been the Wooden Spooners. Fortunately for them, Tom Jolly goes out, Cade Harkins, Michael Corbett, Jared Jackson and Michael Toogood. A few ins for them, Paddy Minchella, Josh Wilson, Brad Doling, Martin Sumner and Dion Brewer. So it'll be interesting to see how they go this year. New coach as well. They'll probably be looking to blood some of the young ones. They've had some good under-18 sides in the last couple of years. So hopefully Barry can improve because, it's been a couple of tough years for them. Loxton, a couple of big outs for them. Chris Knapp was a huge in for them last year and played some really good footy. He's moved on. Jack Evans, John Fisher and Jonty Bates, the other ones that have moved on. But they picked up some handy players. Bailey Bowden from down Karoonda, or Mallee Stormway. He's in this year. Rogan Kennedy, Braden DePrince is a big man. Apparently he goes well. Benny Yeomans is back as well. Brad's brother. Harley Campbell, Caden Evans and Riley Walton. So I look to see Loxton improve this year, and I think they'll be pushing for that grand final spot come the end of the year. Barmera Monash, obviously the reigning premiers. They've had a few outs during the year. Michael Mott, Dee Michelle and Jack Sullivan, so three massive outs there for them. But, geez, they've got some talent coming back in. And Matty Woodkey, one of the local lads. John O'Beach, ex-Crows player, played at West Adelaide League, probably over 100 games, I'm guessing. Chris Bonney used to play at Westies as well. He's a huge in. Mason Middleton, another league player down at Westies. Luke Thomas, cross half-back, played for him a few years ago. Steve Sullivan's back. So they've got some massive ins, and I expect Barmera to be obviously on their merry way to try and go back-to-back. And the big difference, I think, for them this year will be goal-kicking power. Last year they struggled to kick goals. They really relied on their defensive game. This year they've got goal-kicking power. So watch out for Barmera in 2024. Renmark Rovers obviously been the dominant team the last 4 or 5 years, probably taken over the Waikerie mantle and, got knocked off in a close game last year against Barmera. They get Gillard back this year, who's obviously played down in Adelaide, so he's a huge in for them. They do lose the Austin boys. They've gone across to Barmera. Sorry to mention that before. Not sure what happened there with the Austin boys, but all three have left and transferred over to Barmera. So interesting there. And Lockie Lellman's out as well for Renmark, so massive out there. So, all in all, Barmera look like the team that have really recruited well, got some goal-kicking power. Renmark will still be very strong. Waikerie should have a good year. Loxton look to improve. North, there's a question mark on them. And Berry, well, who knows? Obviously been in Wooden Spooners for a long time now and, want to really improve this year. So there's a few movements for you in the off-season.
Great stuff, Ben. Take a well-deserved breath after all that, because that was a lot of player movement. You've done very well there. And a couple of names that stood out to me straight away, obviously Ruben Rashudo. I must say, when you mentioned the name Mark Rashudo, there was a bit of a pause. I almost thought you were saying Mark Rashudo was pulling on the Guernsey and coming back to Waikerie.
It would have been nice, but I think he might be a bit past it now, Rube. But no, look, his nephew's strong, and we played an internal the other day and actually tried to tackle him, and gave him the old don't argue. So looking forward to seeing him give a few of them this year.
I reckon Rue would still go all right personally. He was a bloody superstar in his day. And let's get on to the first round of action then, and we'll start off with the Waikerie Loxton game. How do you see this one playing out in the A grade?
Yeah, look, should be interesting. Obviously, quite a few changes there for Waikerie, and to see how they'll settle down this year. Stephen Braun, who's played centre-half back and probably a state country centre-half back a few years ago, they've named him full forward, so that'll be interesting to see how Brawny goes up forward this year. Obviously, Byron Sumner, a huge in, like we just mentioned, he'll start in the pocket. Tommy Sheldon, I'm interested to see how he goes. He's from Darwin and comes with a few big raps, so he's going to start at centre-half forward, so hopefully he can go well. Timmy Bevan, our captain in the middle, obviously gets a lot of the ball and has won a lot of best and fairest for us, so hopefully he's fit and firing. We've got a good back line. Jack Berge moves back this year, played forward the last few years, but probably, we had to play him forward because we didn't quite have that centre-half forward to play that role. This year we brought someone in to do that, so hopefully Jack can go back and do his thing back there. Looking forward to seeing Cade Hilton in his first year of A grade. Been playing a bit down at Westies. He's only 19, but quick and good skills, and looking forward to seeing him at the half-back. For Loxton North, that looks like they've got a few new players in, and I'm probably talking from their juniors, like Jackson Lloyd, Sammy Lloyd's son. He'll be in for his first A-grade game, so good luck to him. Jaster Hutchinson as well. He'd be an under-18er as well, I would have thought. So got a couple of young ones coming into their club. Cody Vumar starting up forward, the captain. Michael Scott's been a great, player for them over many years. Scott Meninghetti through the middle, who hasn't really played lately the last couple of years. Played a bit of B grade, so hopefully he's fit up and going. Ryan Proud is the one we need to stop up forward for us. He kicks a lot of goals and is a real smart player. Same with Scotty Lewis, ex-league player there at the Woodville West Torrens. So should be a cracker of a game, but I'm just hoping we can get up on our home ground, mate. Kick the start of the year off on a good note, and hopefully get a big crowd there on Saturday, and our players option Saturday night, so hopefully we get a big crowd that stays for that as well.
And am I right in saying, just on you mentioned getting a big crowd there, there's a bit of construction going on at the club rooms there at the Waikerie Oval?
Yeah, there is, yep. So people come to the game. There's going to be limited parking because obviously we've still got our existing clubhouse at the other end of the oval. So parking's probably nearly halved. So we're sort of encouraging our local players to park outside the ground and walk in, try and leave some car parks for those that would really want them. But yeah, look, the construction's underway, mate. We hope to have it done by the end of the year. It's looking fantastic. Nice 2-story building down the northern end of the ground, which is right on the river. So we'll have it's going to be all glass. One side's going to be obviously the footy oval. The other side's going to be the river. So it's going to be magnificent for Waikerie and the Riverland.
All right, great stuff. Let's get on to our next game. Barmera Monash hosting Renmark. Interesting one here. The reigning premiers versus the previous premiers, the 2022 winners in Renmark.
Yeah, look, that should be a ripper of a game. And, I sort of mentioned it earlier. I think Barmera have really gone out and they've got a great side this year. They're not all playing at the moment. Admittedly, Mason Middleton's still injured, so they'll miss him up forward because he's a massive target. He plays centre forward for West Adelaide League for many years, and I've stood him personally. He's a big boy and can take a good grab, so they'll miss him this week. John O'Beach, I think, also is away this week as well, couldn't play. So they're huge 2 outs for him, but, you still got Chris Bonney that walks into their side. Mitch Wellington will give them something up forward. Sam Battleworth's been awesome for him through the middle. You chuck in Luke Thomas down back as well. They've got a great side. But in saying that too, Renmark, they haven't lost much either. They've still got the stalwarts there, the Wolford boys, Zach Gartrey and Ruck, Timmy Blight, Trevor Thorpe. They've got a good side as well. Nick Gillard back in as well. So this could go either way. I think I'm going to go with Barmera only because it's on their home ground. If Renmark were playing at home, I'd probably pick Renmark. So, should be a great game. I can't wait to see the result. And, it could go either way, but I'll stick with Barmera at home.
All right, the home ground advantage tip in for Barmera Monash, and our last game for the round, Loxton taking on Berry, sort of the inverse of that last matchup, because these are the two longest running premiership droughts held by these two teams across the Riverland League. So how do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, look, I think Loxton will be an improvement this year. Obviously, they'll miss a couple of key players like the Chris Knapp who's left, but they've replaced them with some good players. They've still got some, William Gutschifer in the midfield there. He's a sensational player. Cale Smith down back's always strong. Shay Lange always has a good game. Drew Kasolki on his wing. Still got the Evans boy there and Lockie. Flighty up forward to kick some goals. So I still think Loxton will be strong. Berry will be interesting to see. Obviously, they've really struggled the last few years. They're going to be looking at blokes like Shay Hawkins, their captain, Hugo Krieger up forward. Just whether they've got the depth, though, to go with Loxton, I can't see it at this stage. And I think Loxton at home should be too strong and will start the year with a win.
All right, the tips are in. Round 1 kicks off tomorrow in the Riverland Footy League. Ben, all the best to you. Hopefully you get a win in the B grade as well, and good luck to everyone involved. All the best, Ben. I'll chat to you next week.
Good on you, mate. Talk next week.